Many thanks to DayZ Podcast, Pandemonium, Lion Lost, Wolves of DayZ, and the Great Escape server for making this video possible. Loot has changed substantially in DayZ 1.19, completely changing how loot progression works on Livonia, shifting better weapons to higher tiers and making them spawn less, all while making our gear much less reliable to use. So in this video we're going to be looking at all of the loot changes in 1.19 and what spawns at the new rare military convoys. The biggest loot changes in 1.19 of course come to the Livonia map, with even the tier system itself getting changed. The first change to the tier system is that Tier 1 has been expanded over Sicknick, making this town not so great to loot anymore, and in doing so it shrinks Tier 2 as a result to this, with Tier 3 also being reduced in size, with a gaping hole now appearing over Dambog, which is where the new bunker is. There's a giant hole here because the new bunker has a tier system of its own, but instead of calling them tiers, it's better to call them levels or floors, with certain pieces of loot being assigned to different floors or levels. On all floors of the bunker you can find this gear here, where Hannah's backpack only spawns on floor 1 and 2, the black and green plate carrier only spawn on floor 2, the AK-101 is floor 2, and these 3 spawn on floor 3. All of this loot here will only spawn inside the bunker, so no longer spawns anywhere else on Livonia, with the tactical helmet spawning with night vision goggles, which is a reward for players for getting to floor 3. You can still get the night vision goggles from heli crashes on both Livonia and Chernarus, with heli crash loot also spawning at the new military convoys. Now, due to the placement of these convoys, it's now possible to pick up an SVD just outside of Cherno or within minutes of spawning near Skalaski Island on Chernarus, but these convoys are super rare, with only 1 spawning per map. With the addition of the lunar parks in these locations, these items will now spawn there instead, and there have been many other changes to other loot tags due to how many map changes there were on Livonia. Of the 8 loot tags that have been changed on Livonia, no substantial differences will be noticed by players, but you certainly will be aware of how unique loot tags have changed on Livonia. For example, unique industrial loot, which is where the plastic explosive and remote detonator spawn, now spawn in these locations instead of these locations, making you travel further south to get a better chance of getting this base killing explosive. On the plus side, the M79 grenade launcher is no longer restricted to heli crashes or military trains on Livonia, now spawning in these 3 locations too. The first is at Nadbor Quarry military barracks here, the second is the HUMVEE wreck in Dolnik, and the third is at the bunker. The M79 can spawn in or outside of the bunker or in and out of the bunker, with the number of M79s spawning on Livonia being increased by 1 this patch to a total of 3, so the chances of finding the M79 in the south of Livonia is pretty damn good. However, the chances of finding the Magnum, Deagle and Deagle Mag have been reduced as they exclusively spawn inside the larger towns now, with the larger towns being the ones that have been given the new apartment buildings, which also spawn loot now. On Livonia, gas mask spawns have been increased by 40% to compensate how you need to go to static gas zones to get the punch card to access the bunker to get the best loot on the map. The military convoys do spawn this new convoy officer, but it only has a 40% chance to drop the punch card now. The green ammo boxes no longer spawn inside the bunker and have their spawns reduced by 80% to just 2 on the entire Livonia map, and only spawns at the heli crash sites in the military convoys now, spawning with a lot of high tier ammo still. High tier rifles now spawn a lot less, with the Mosin spawning 40% less than last patch on Livonia at least, and only spawns in tier 2+, so it's been removed from tier 1, with a similar case for the Blaze and the Tundra, now spawning 20% less and is restricted to tier 2+ hunting locations, both of these, where the newest CR550 is only tier 3 hunting locations. On the plus side, the CR527, the lesser rifle, spawns 50% more often on both maps, and its mag now spawns 30% more too, with the Pioneer being almost guaranteed to spawn at the new police situations. I found 3 at 1 police situation, of which only 2 are active at a time on a map, so these are going to be quite rare, but nonetheless you can hunt down the Pioneer much easier now. On Chernarus, 308 rounds will be much harder to find as they have been completely removed from the village loot tag, now spawning only at farms and hunting locations. Along with this, the Mosin and Tundra only spawn in tier 3+ locations on Chernarus, pushing them much further west now, and the Blaze has been removed from tier 1, where the CR527 has been added to tier 1. Both Livonia and Chernarus now spawn 20% more loose ammo piles, but the quantity in each of these piles has been reduced by 25%, which means that the same amount of ammo is on each map, but it's just more spread out. The quality level of all items that spawn are between the low end of badly damaged and the low end of pristine, which means that most items you find will be damaged on average now, so pristine if you're very lucky, worn if you're lucky, damaged is average, and badly damaged is unlucky. Now even with the 50% reduced weapon jam rate we got this patch, this will create a lot more weapon jams now. To counter this though, these 4 tools now spawn 20% more on both maps. The other changes on both maps are the number of plastic explosive have been reduced slightly, all tents now spawn 20% less, and opening a can of food and dropping it on the floor will make it despawn 30% faster than normal. Of the new stuff that we've been given, the HUMVEE is probably one of the best, and it spawns on both of these maps, free spawning per map in any of these locations. As for the rest of the new stuff, it spawns in all of these locations, which you can search for yourself using the link below in this tool, giving you more details should you need it. And if you want to learn more about 1.19 and what has changed this patch, you can see this video, or if you want to know the detailed map changes to Livonia, this one is for you here. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.